Save big with Kroger's 12 Merry Days of Deals. From December 4th through the 15th, you can clip a hot new deal each day on our app or website. And if you're a Boost member, you can save even more. So don't miss out and be sure to check our app or website every day from December 4th through the 15th to clip each day's hot new deal. It's 12 Merry Days of Deals, a holly jolly way to save for the holidays at Kroger.
All right, so ready to take charge of your career and make sure you're getting paid what you're worth.
That's right.
Maybe it's a new job on the horizon or finally like working up the courage to ask for that raise.
Yeah.
Either way, let's face it, salary negotiation can feel like navigating a minefield.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we're doing this deep dive into this interview with Margaret Buj,
Right.
an expert interview coach and former recruiter, to uncover some insider strategies and get you feeling confident about that next salary conversation.
Yeah. It's interesting how many people view salary negotiation as like this big, scary monster.
Oh, totally.
But the truth is, it's a normal part of the professional world. Everyone deserves to be compensated fairly, and having these conversations is how you make that happen.
I think for a lot of us, it comes down to not wanting to rock the boat.
Yeah.
You worry about seeming ungrateful or jeopardizing the offer.
Absolutely. And there's a real gender gap at play here, too.
Oh, yeah.
Margaret's source, the book Women Don't Ask, found that only 7% of women negotiate their starting salary. Wow.
Compared to 57% of men.
That's crazy.
That's a staggering difference, and it really highlights the need for us to rethink these ingrained societal norms.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's ditch the fear and dive into some practical tips.
Okay.
Margaret stresses that timing is everything and that the salary conversation should actually start before you even apply for a job.
That's right. Doing your research beforehand is crucial. And we're not just talking about skimming Glassdoor.
Right.
To really understand your market value, you need to get strategic.
So, like, what kind of strategic moves are we talking about?
Think about it like this. You're a detective building a case for your worth.
Okay.
Start by looking at job postings for similar roles at competitor companies.
Right.
Pay attention to the language they use and the salary ranges they hint at. That'll give you a much clearer picture of what's considered competitive.
I never thought to look at competitor postings.
Right.
That makes so much sense.
And don't underestimate the power of your network.
Use LinkedIn to connect with people who hold similar positions in your field.
Right.
You can ask them about their salary expectations and get a feel for what's realistic in your specific industry.
So it's kind of like an informal salary survey.
Exactly.
Just by tapping into your existing connections.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to be direct.
Okay.
Sometimes just politely asking for a range can give you valuable insights. People are often more willing to share than you think.
That's a great point. And once you have a good grasp of your market value,
Right.
how do you bring it up in the actual interview?
It depends on the situation.
Okay.
If you're working with a headhunter, they're usually more transparent about salary ranges up front.
Right.
They have a vested interest in finding someone who fits the budget, so don't hesitate to ask them directly early on.
Yep.
But when you're dealing directly with a hiring manager, it can be a bit more nuanced.
Because you don't want to seem like you're only focused on the money,
That's right.
especially in that first interview.
That's right. It's about striking a balance.
Okay.
Margaret suggests waiting until the second interview.
Okay.
After you've established a rapport and they've had a chance to see your qualifications, then you can confidently say something like, based on my research and the value I believe I can bring to this role, I'm looking for a salary in the range of X to Y. Does that align with your budget for this position?
That sounds so much more professional than blurting out a number during the first 5 minutes.
Exactly. It shows that you've done your homework and you're serious about finding the right fit. And if their budget is significantly lower than your expectations, it saves everyone time and energy in the long run.
But what if the company just can't budge on the base salary?
That's where things get interesting. This is where you need to get creative and think beyond just that base salary number. Benefits can be a powerful bargaining chip, especially if the company is limited in what they can offer up front.
Okay, so what kind of benefits are we talking about? Besides the obvious health insurance and vacation time.
Think about what's truly valuable to you.
Okay.
Maybe it's the flexibility to work remotely a few days a week.
Right.
Or perhaps professional development opportunities are a top priority.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask about things like tuition reimbursement or a conference budget. And if you're in a field where stock options are common, definitely bring those into the conversation.
So it's about tailoring the negotiation to your specific needs and priorities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, even seemingly small perks can add up to a significant value.
Okay.
For example, if commuting is a major drain on your time and energy, negotiating for a parking stipend or a public transportation subsidy could make a real difference in your daily life.
That's such a good point. It's easy to get fixated on just the dollar amount, but those quality of life perks can have a huge impact on your overall well-being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you've successfully negotiated a great offer for a new job. But a few years down the line, you realize you're being underpaid compared to your colleagues or the market rate. This is where negotiating a raise within your current company comes into play.
This feels even trickier than the initial salary negotiation.
Yeah.
You've already built relationships.
Yeah.
You don't want to ruffle feathers. And there's that added fear of jeopardizing your current position.
You're right. It's a different ballgame altogether.
Yeah.
Margaret emphasizes the importance of shifting your mindset from asking for more to showcasing your worth.
Okay.
Remember that achievement portfolio we talked about?
Yes.
Now's the time to put it to work.
So instead of just saying, hey, I deserve a raise,
Right.
I need to come to the table with concrete evidence of my contribution.
Exactly. Before you even schedule that meeting with your manager, take some time to gather your data, quantify your accomplishments whenever possible. Did you exceed your sales targets? Streamline a process that saved the company money.
Got it.
Receive positive feedback from clients that went above and beyond.
So it's all about showing, not just telling. I'm starting to see how this portfolio becomes like a powerful tool for these conversations.
It is. Think of it as your secret weapon.
Yeah.
And here's another pro tip from Margaret. Strategically reference projects where you collaborated with senior stakeholders without explicitly name dropping. It subtly positions you as someone who can operate effectively at higher levels.
That's clever. It's like planting a seed in their mind that you're ready for more responsibility than for higher compensation.
Exactly. Now, once you've got your portfolio prepped, it's time to frame the conversation with your manager instead of focusing on what you need. Highlight how your contributions have benefited the company. For example, you could say, over the past year, I've taken on X, Y, and Z, which has resulted in A, B, and C for the team. Based on my market research and the value I believe I'm bringing to the table, I'm hoping we can discuss adjusting my salary to reflect my current role and performance.
I love that approach. It's confident, it's data-driven, and it frames the conversation as a collaborative effort rather than a demand.
Right. It's about presenting yourself as an asset, not a liability. And here's another crucial point Margaret brought up. Timing is everything. The best time to ask for a raise is usually a few months before your annual review. Or when the company is in a strong financial position.
Because if they're already in a good mood about the company's success, they're more likely to be receptive to your request.
It's about reading the room and choosing your moment wisely. But what happens if your manager pushes back, saying there's simply no budget for a raise right now?
That's where I would probably just want to crawl under my desk and give up.
Don't despair. Remember, a no today doesn't necessarily mean a no forever. Margaret advises being persistent but respectful. Instead of getting discouraged, ask for specific feedback. You can say something like, based on my market research, I was hoping for a raise to your target salary. What specific goals would I need to achieve to reach that level, and when could we revisit this conversation?
It's like turning a rejection into a roadmap for future success.
Precisely. It shows that you're committed to growth and that you're willing to put in the work to earn that raise. And here's something interesting. Margaret shared a story from her time as a recruiter at Expedia. She had a candidate who had been with the company for several years, but was significantly underpaid compared to the market rate. Even though this person hadn't necessarily gone above and beyond in their role, Margaret still felt it was appropriate for them to bring up the salary discrepancy.
Interesting. So sometimes just being aware of your market value is enough to justify a raise.
That's right.
Even if you haven't necessarily exceeded expectations in your current role.
That's right. It's like realizing you've been accidentally selling your valuable antique collection at a garage sale. You have every right to ask for fair compensation, even if you haven't been the absolute star performer.
So it's about advocating for yourself and knowing your worth, regardless of your current performance level.
Exactly. And speaking of advocating for yourself, let's talk about leverage.
Okay.
What factors influence your negotiating power within your current job?
Well, I imagine your role, location, and specialization all play a part.
Hmm.
If you have a highly specialized skill set that's in high demand,
Right.
you're naturally going to have more leverage.
That's a great point. It's like being a rare gem in a world of pebbles.
I like that.
Your unique skills and experience make you more valuable to the company,
Yeah.
giving you a stronger negotiating position. Location also plays a role.
Okay.
If you're in a location with a competitive job market,
Right.
companies may be more willing to offer higher salaries to attract and retain top talent.
It's all about supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
If your skills are in high demand and there's a limited pool of qualified candidates in your area,
Yeah.
you have more bargaining power.
Precisely. And don't forget about the level of the position. Senior level roles often come with more responsibility and decision-making authority,
Right.
which can translate into higher compensation.
Okay, so let's say I've done my research, I've built my achievement portfolio, I've chosen my moment wisely, and I've presented my case with confidence and clarity.
Right.
But what if, after all, that they still say no to a raise?
Mm-hmm.
Is it game over?
Not at all. It's an opportunity to understand your manager's perspective and create a plan for future success.
Okay.
Ask for specific feedback on what you need to improve or achieve to earn that raise.
Right.
And set a date to revisit the conversation.
So it's about being persistent without being pushy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It shows that you're taking their feedback seriously and that you're committed to earning that raise.
Right.
And it keeps the conversation going, ensuring that your compensation stays on their radar.
I'm sensing a theme here. Persistence and preparation are key.
You got it. Persistence and preparation. Those are two of the biggest keys to success in any negotiation, but especially when it comes to salary.
Yeah, it feels like we've covered so much ground already.
Right.
From researching salary benchmarks and crafting that achievement portfolio
Yeah.
to navigating those sometimes tricky conversations with your manager.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
We have, and it's all incredibly valuable information. But there's one more piece of the puzzle that Margaret emphasizes.
Okay.
And it's something that can really make or break your success.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Okay.
What's this missing piece?
It's all about mindset.
Okay.
You can have all the data and strategies in the world,
Right.
but if you don't believe in your worth
Hmm.
and approach these conversations with confidence,
Yeah.
it will
That's like that saying, you get what you negotiate, not what you deserve.
Yeah,
If you don't advocate for yourself, no one else will.
exactly. It's about shifting your mindset from, I hope they offer me enough, to I'm confident in my value and I'm prepared to negotiate a fair compensation package.
Yeah.
And this applies to both new job negotiations and asking for a raise in your current role.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, especially women, tend to downplay our accomplishments and undervalue our contributions.
It's a common trap, and it's something Margaret specifically addresses in her advice.
Right.
She encourages candidates to aim high when stating their salary range,
Okay.
especially in a new job negotiation.
Because you never know, they might just say yes.
Exactly. And even if they counter with a slightly lower offer,
Yeah.
you're still starting from a stronger position.
Right.
Margaret also cautions against giving away your current salary too early in the process.
Sure.
Especially if you suspect you're underpaid.
So it's like starting with a clean slate and setting the tone for a more favorable outcome.
Precisely. It's about taking control of the narrative and presenting yourself as a valuable asset from the outset.
Okay.
And here's a little exercise Margaret suggests to boost your confidence before a negotiation. Write down a list of your accomplishment skills and the unique value you bring to the table.
Got it.
Then read it out loud several times.
It's almost like giving yourself a pep talk right before the big game.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It's a way to remind yourself of your strengths
Hmm.
and walk into that negotiation feeling empowered.
Love it.
We've talked a lot about tactical strategies today,
Right.
but ultimately it all comes down to this.
Okay.
Believing in yourself and having the confidence to articulate your worth.
That's such a powerful message. And you know what? I think having this conversation has already boosted my own confidence.
That's fantastic to hear. Remember, knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you understand the dynamics of salary negotiation, the better equipped you'll be to advocate for yourself throughout your career.
It's like Margaret said, high achievers don't wait to be offered a great salary.
Yeah.
They ask for it
Yeah.
and present proof as to why it's warranted.
That's right.
So to all of you listening out there, take this information, run with it,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to ask for what you deserve.
And remember, negotiation is a skill that gets better with practice.
That's true.
The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll become.
That was an insightful deep dive into the world of salary negotiation.
Yeah, it was.
Feeling ready to take charge of your earning potential.
Yes.
Remember, preparation is key, but so is confidence. Believe in yourself, do your research, and don't be afraid to ask for what you're worth.
Absolutely.
Who knows? You might just surprise yourself with what you can achieve.
Until next time, happy negotiating.